We're going to have a session now. The name of the session is the CISO Startup Connection, and it is powered by YL Ventures. The person that will moderate the session, one of the most interesting investors in Israel and a good friend of mine, Ofer Schreiber, and he is a partner at YL Ventures. Ofer, the stage is yours.
Hi everybody, as Manny mentioned, my name is Ofer Schreiber. I'm a partner in YL Ventures, and I would like to welcome you to this session, the CISO Startup Panel. I think that you can't really talk about Israeli cybersecurity without mentioning the vast amount of startups, innovation and technology that is coming out of here. And for us, Cyber Week is a great opportunity basically to combine Israeli entrepreneurs and technology with global markets and customers. So this is what this panel is all about. We're going to meet today 3 early stage, very innovative startups, and we'll have an amazing panel of 4 global customers, chief information security officers. And what we're going to have here is a brainstorming session, a discussion, Q&A between the entrepreneurs and their customers. And I'm sure it will be very interesting and beneficial to the founders and hopefully to the audience as well. So without further ado, I'm very excited to bring to the stage our panelists. First is Andy Ellis, Chief Security Officer of Akamai. Bobby Ford, Chief Information Security Officer of Unilever. Renee Gutman, the Chief Information Security Officer of Campbell Soup Company. And Michael Melly, the Chief Information Security Officer of Bank Julius Baer. All right, so let's start with the first company. The first company is Orca Security. Please come on stage, Avi Shua, co-founder and CEO.
Thanks, Ofer. So we are Orca, and we are doing one simple thing, providing full stack cloud visibility seamlessly. Basically, within minutes, providing full visibility of security issues like vulnerabilities, misconfiguration, and breaches in IaaS and PaaS environments. So a little bit about us. We were founded earlier this year. We are 8 co-founders, all of us out of Check Point, executive and architects, including me. I was the previous chief technologist in Check Point. We have just announced a $6.5 million seed, and currently 15 employees, in fact 16 as of this morning, growth since I created the presentation, and in beta phases. And we really believe that the cloud migration is not a security issue, but it's in fact an opportunity to get better security than you could have get in a pre-cloud world. So let's have a brief look at a typical IaaS or PaaS environment. We see it usually as 4 different layers. There is the cloud infrastructure layer, the bottommost layer, that is everything is running on top of. And on top of that, there are the various workloads. There are machines, there are containers, but all of them have operating system, applications, and data. And you need to be able to see and secure all of them. So in the cloud layers, you need to make sure that you don't have critical misconfigurations like buckets that open to the entire world or a database that everyone can read. This is one thing that you need to make sure. But it doesn't end on the cloud layer. You need to secure also the operating system and application layer. You need to make sure that you don't have vulnerable applications, that you don't have malware running on the machines or any misconfigurations that are sometimes as serious as vulnerabilities. So this is what you need to know. Now have a brief look at the solutions that are available today. Basically, for the lowest level, there are the CSPMs of the world, Redlock, Cloud Passage, and similar solutions that very easily within minutes let you know if you have misconfiguration at the cloud infrastructure level. People like them, they are very easy to integrate, you get the answers within minutes, but they don't get inside the assets themselves. If you want to know of issues inside the assets, of software vulnerabilities, of misconfiguration, you need, as of today, to install agents or deploy network scanners for each and every one of the assets. And this is a process which is both very time-consuming and can cause, in the most of the cases, to reach only partial visibility. You can deploy asset agents on all of the machines. It's an organizational nightmare, especially when it's large organization or M&As are involved, etc. What you really need is to see across the technology stack, to have security visibility for both the control plane, for the operating system, application, and data. And this is exactly what the Orca Cloud Security Visibility Platform does. In 5 minutes integration, and I really mean 5-minute integration, using grid-only access, no changes to the organization configuration, you get full stack visibility of misconfiguration, vulnerabilities, and into your data without any change in the environment. So how do you do that? How we're able to provide it? While all of our competitors require to install agents or to configure network scanners. So basically, the secret sauce lies in our patent-pending side scanning technology. When you are working the clouds, machines are no longer physical. You can approach them also from the bottom, from the infrastructure level. So what we have done, what we are doing is that we integrated using low-level APIs that are open to the cloud infrastructure level to read the machine configuration and virtual disk and virtual hardware without any integration to them. We read them from the bottom or from the side. It depends on how you want to visualize this. We interpret this data, and based on it, we are able to provide you with full stack visibility of everything that's going on in your entire IaaS or PaaS infrastructure. Misconfiguration, vulnerabilities, even compromised machine, without any need for per-asset integration, network integration, or anything like that. So basically, this is it. Full stack visibility in 5 minutes with absolutely no impact to the environment.
Thank you very much, Avi.
Thank you.
And now let's hear some feedback and questions from the panelists.
Well, then I go first. What does the traditional vendors, or the first generation CSPMs, as you call them, prevent them from doing what you are doing, actually, or why can't they go the way you are implementing now this?
So the first generation CSPMs are reading only the configuration data of the machines. So for example, if you go for a CSPM, it will see in what network the machine is connected to, who have access to the machine. But they don't go inside the machine. They don't claim they'll do it. They won't let you know if you have a vulnerable Apache server. They won't let you know if you have a machine configured with default credential. They simply don't go into this area. They usually refer customers to integrate a CWPP agent for that. It's outside of their scope.
So the question is, am I displacing other technologies then that I might currently be using? And do I totally get rid of them? I mean, am I going to be able to use your product inside the company as well? Or am I going to have two different products maybe doing the same thing?
So definitely, you are able to replace both the CSPMs and the vulnerability management with our first generation of the Orca Visibility Platform. Instead of installing a CSPM and a vulnerability management solution like Qualys, Tenable, or Rapid7, you can get Orca that does both of these vaults for you.
Will I still end up running those products elsewhere in my environment, potentially in my OT environment or somewhere else?
So in that case, you can replace them for the cloud environment. All of these solutions are sold per seat. So you can remove the seats from the cloud and use them for the on-prem environment. And in terms of the actual number of solutions in your organization, you can get rid of the CSPMs, which are only for the cloud. So even if you count it by the number of vendors that you are using, you are still not increasing this number.
So I have two questions. The first one is, do you integrate with the SIM? And then the second question is, you say 5-minute integrations. Why 5 minute? Why not 4 or 3?
Can you repeat the last question?
Yeah, so when you say 5-minute integration, why 5 minutes? Why not 4 or 3?
Because it takes 5
Okay.
people 1 minute each.
So yes, we are supplying the data to SIMs. Regarding 5-minute integration, the real reason is because when we say 2-minute integration, people think that we are arrogant. It's basically going through 10 steps in a wizard, copying 2 strings and giving us access. In all of our beta customers, finding the person allowed to sign the NDA took between 100 times to 500 times of the integration time. Okay. I have a question for you, in fact. We are talking with a lot of organizations, a lot of security professionals, and many times they hear about us and they say, okay, that's cool, but I have a CSPM, it provides me cloud security visibility, and they don't understand that they are not protected for the operating system, application, data layer, that they don't have visibility into these layers. How do you suggest us to approach it from a marketing perspective? From a message to explain that this is simply not enough?
Well, I mean, as I understood your solution, on the one hand, you provide effectiveness. You're able to discover the whole lot of the cloud infrastructure that is there that the other products don't do. And if you don't have a complete inventory, you're always at the risk that you miss out something, and therefore you don't close a vulnerability you effectively have. Therefore, effectiveness. And the second thing is about transparency. So you create transparency, and across the whole stack, and not only on operating system level. And I do believe that transparency paired with effectiveness, and those are not two technology-related domains, but they are a big building block in building cybersecurity. And it's not tool-based, but it's a way of thought, and you provide both of those elements.
So then I have a question for you. What kind of customers are you targeting, and what does your ideal customer look like right now? I mean, if you have to do that much education, are you prepared to do that, or do you need somebody that's maybe a little more sophisticated, or, you know, who's your ideal right now, besides somebody that can write a check?
So basically, everyone who has a IaaS or PaaS environment is a potential customer, but we are finding organizations that have large sub-organizations or environments that they are responsible to but don't have the ability to deploy tools, the most beneficial ones. We've been working with customers that have M&As, that have some subcontractors that they need to audit, that are managing an environment for someone else, and they know that they need to have security visibility, but they simply don't have the manpower and the ability to even start to have visibility inside this environment. So in these cases, we found it very beneficial because they are willing to jump ship and try it because they understand they have an issue, they understand that they don't have something that can get into the environment for at least a year, and this solves, it's a quick win for them. So these are our ideal customer currently.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, going after customers that sort of are acquisitive by nature, that have a lot of acquisitions, and getting full visibility into those organizations. From a marketing perspective, I would suggest starting with the story, right? Like starting with the story, like how did you come up with the name, right? Why is full stack visibility so important? And then we're all extraordinarily competitive. And if you start talking to us about gaps that we have, that our peers, that they don't have, like you'll always have our attention.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Agi.
Thank you,
Orca
Ofra.
Security.